In this presentation, my team members Katie Thompson, Jay Dev, and I, Marissa DeFrati, will show you how to manage and collaborate with communities using ArcGIS Hub.
We'll start off with a brief introduction to ArcGIS Hub, then go over ways to conceptualize your collaboration in your Hub community. After that, we'll dive into the site builder and add different elements of engagement to the site. Katie and Jay will walk us through designing for passive engagement with followers, how to do one-time engagement using events and surveys, and then we'll dive into active collaboration through supporting teams. At the end, we'll wrap up with some final tips and resources. So what is ArcGIS Hub? It can be summarized as a product that extends the capabilities of your ArcGIS organization by allowing you to share data and apps through sites, and by inviting others to share their own feedback or content by using licensed community accounts. There are two licensing levels available for ArcGIS Hub. The basic level is included with every ArcGIS Online organization and allows you to create custom sites through which you can share data openly to the public, privately throughout your organization, or selectively with trusted collaborators. By upgrading to the premium license, you'll gain a second ArcGIS Online organization, the community organization, that hangs off of your main employee organization. This secondary organization is separate but connected and comes with a select number of licensed accounts that you can assign and then share content with at your discretion. You'll also be able to schedule events and create templates of the patterns and content you've built into your site for sharing or reuse. We won't go into detail about all of these features during the session, but at the end we'll share resources where you can learn more. There are multiple ways to leverage the community organization to collaborate with people. We've seen people collaborate with the public for local planning, to coordinate volunteer efforts, to work with contractors, and to organize emergency response. This engagement can generally fall into one or more of these categories. Short-term collaboration. This is when you need feedback quickly and in a short period of time. It might require more effort to share the event or the survey extensively, and you might have to bug some people with reminders, but this is usually just a one-time effort. There's long-term collaboration, which is often running for longer than a month and just accepting feedback on a rolling basis. This would be a great example where you could plan a long-term collaboration project ahead of time, and you can gather public input and continuously analyze the responses to ensure that the feedback is representative of the community you're engaging with. However, this type of engagement also requires frequent sharing and reminders, and you can also use it to continuously gather updates about recurring events. Then there's close collaboration. It's usually for a specific period of time. It might be open until the required number of people respond, and often you're aware of the group that you're focusing on engaging with. An example could be a collaborative project between intercity departments. And these are not exclusive categories, and many times you will use a combination of all three of them. I would also suggest working with marketing and communication employees in your own organization and with other stakeholder organizations to rally engagement. Now we'll walk through a long-term example of collaboration and discuss how to build the initiative from passive engagement to one-time engagement and then to active and collaborative engagement. A prominent example of collaboration for climate resiliency planning happens in cities. In this case, our city climate plan includes resident engagement to enhance the urban forest by planting more trees. We're familiar with trees functioning to provide shade, to remove carbon dioxide, reduce runoff, and create a more aesthetically pleasing city street. But by focusing on how this initiative can be achieved collaboratively, we can also build social capital, the networks of relationships that are the bedrock of communities during disasters. A lot of this can be organized and achieved using ArcGIS Hub. Tree data can be collected and shared on the site. The city can transform that data into visualizations that allow for transparent communication of progress. And the initiative site itself will serve as a central location for anyone to passively check in or for those who are actively looking to get more involved. Next, Katie will go over some engagement features in ArcGIS Hub.
Hi, my name is Katie, and today Jay and I will show you how you can use ArcGIS Hub to engage your community around your next project, plan, or campaign. ArcGIS Hub includes several features that allow you to build a network of followers, share content and messages, host events, generate feedback through surveys, commenting, and quick polls, and collaborate with your stakeholders to create, review, and edit content. We will map each of these features to opportunities that you can provide on your site for the community to engage passively, one time, or directly as part of a collaboration activity. The first step to using any of these features is to set up a website as the public landing page for your project. For this presentation, we've created a demo site for a city's climate resiliency campaign. ArcGIS Hub includes configurable website templates that you can use to easily get started. You can configure these sites with your own navigation, branding, and domain to align with the rest of your web content. It's important to note that promoting your site through your organization's social media accounts and traditional communication channels is critical to getting the visibility you'll need to engage with the public. Your community can even help you share your site more widely, and later on I'll show you how they can do that using the social sharing button. There are a few ways that you can set up following on your site and encourage your community to share your site more widely. So to do that, open your site in edit mode. I'm signed in with an account right now that has edit access to this site, so when viewing my site in a browser, I can simply launch into edit mode by clicking this edit pencil here. Now that I'm in edit mode, I'm going to find a spot on my site's layout where I want to add that call to action to follow using the follow button. I've added a section already called Stay Informed and provided a bit of copy to give context to the audience as to what will happen once they follow the site. So to place the button here, over on my side panel, I have these root options to set settings for my site, set its theme, add components to the site's header, and layout is where I have access to all of the site building components that I can use simply by dragging and dropping them into place. I want to use the follow initiative card, so dragging and dropping that into place here, I've added the follow button. It comes with some default copy to help you get started, but since I have my own, I'm going to take it out. And I would like to show you quickly here about button states. So in this field, you can provide an option for a call to action that better suits your project or plan. So something like get involved, learn more, subscribe. You can make that decision there if you'd like to change that, but I'm going to stick with follow for right now. All right, let's give that a save. So that was pretty easy, just adding a button there, and once that's on my site, people can start following. I'll also show you quickly how you can add some social sharing icons to your site's header, social media platform icons to your site's header. Here in this top right corner, we don't really have a lot going on right now, but what I can do over here is go to my header options, go to social icons, and choose to toggle on the social media platforms that I have and provide a link to them. This kind of creates a bridge for your audience to link to your social media accounts where they can find more information and potentially more opportunities to get connected. All right, so now that those are turned on, there's one more thing I'd like to show you, and that's located in the site's settings. Under interactions, this menu here, I have these two options called the follow tab and sharing. The Follow tab provides a persistent button on the side of your site that looks like a star so that people always have that option to follow no matter where they are when scrolling through your site. And this is particularly helpful on mobile devices and smaller screen sizes like tablets. I'm going to turn that on, and I'm also going to turn on the sharing button. This allows people to quickly share out your site to their Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, and gives them an easy sharing link to paste on their other platforms or through email. Now that that's all complete, saving my changes, publishing them by clicking Publish Draft. And now let's take a look at what that will look like from the community's perspective by choosing View Published. Now, I'm going to sign out so that we have a fresh view of things. Cool. Yeah, so you'll notice the follow button here and also the sharing button. And we have the follow button here and this call to action. Clicking this opens the sign-in prompt, which allows people to click right here, no account, create a community account, and they can provide their information and their email to start following the site. I'll show you how to set that up in a bit. Now that we've staged a way for passive engagement to happen on our site, let's take a look at how to configure the account sign-up prompt. When people follow a site, they are prompted to create a community account. Community accounts are ArcGIS Online accounts to the Hub's separate ArcGIS Online community organization. By default, community accounts are set to the ArcGIS Online default publisher role, which includes access to the community's ArcGIS Online tools and each account's own credit allotment. This allows followers to receive email messages and access privately shared content, join an event attendees list to receive updates and material. Jay will speak more on this in a bit, show their support across multiple projects, use ArcGIS Online apps and tools to put open data and living atlas data to use, and they can also be elevated to help build or manage your sites as collaborators. As Marissa explained earlier, community accounts are entirely separate from the accounts you extend to your staff through your official primary ArcGIS Online organization, the one in which you set up your sites and manage authoritative content and data. Community accounts cannot be used to sign into this organization, so the only way for followers to access private content is if you explicitly share it with them through groups. Okay, so let's take a look at the sign-up prompt itself. Followers can sign up with their email to create a community account. This is the default, but you can also add options to sign up with a GitHub account, Gmail, Facebook, and Apple ID. You can even add the option for them to sign in with an existing ArcGIS Online account that they may have with another organization. To ensure that your sign-up prompt appears trusted and authoritative, configure it to show your organization's official logo, terms and conditions, and a welcome statement. Once an account is created, the new community member will receive an email that includes their username and a point of contact for questions and concerns. You can set this point of contact in your Hub settings. Since community accounts are stored and managed separately, you must have a community administrator account to configure the sign-up prompt that appears when people follow and sign in on your site. You can sign in with this account through your Hub settings on the Hub overview page, indicated by the purple arrow in the image below, or you can go to the community's ArcGIS Online organization homepage. In Hub settings, you have options to enable all social sign-in options at once, set the community point of contact, and add custom terms and a welcome message. In the ArcGIS Online organization, you can choose individual social sign-in options, configure your logo, and add support for single sign-in authorization. To welcome new followers, send a message and optionally include a feedback form to gauge if they'd like to participate in regular surveys, discussions, or engagement activities. You can filter the followers list by date joined to pinpoint those whom you need to reach out to. Be mindful that clear, thoughtful communication is important to sustaining a connection with your followers as your network grows. You can do this by setting a reasonable cadence for when you send them emails. As the site's owner, you can send messages to select followers or everyone on the list. You may, however, find it useful, if not necessary, to enlist the help of your organization's PR and communications teams. These communications specialists can be critical stakeholders in helping you reach your audiences. They also can ensure that your messaging aligns with your organization's patterns of practice around public outreach and brand voice. Since messages that are irrelevant or too frequent can cause people to unfollow your site, work with your teams to determine a cadence that's right for your campaign by considering its duration and the content you will have available to promote. Just as you send individual messages to new followers, you can target actively engaged followers who are creating content, responding surveys to facilitate deeper engagement. My colleague Jay will speak to this in the following slides.
Thank you, Katie. I want to talk to you all next about one-time or limited engagement. The step beyond passive engagement is getting people to take one action, complete one feedback form, or attend one town hall. By providing multiple ways to engage that can fit different schedules, interests, skill levels, and accessibility concerns, you allow interested people to choose how they get involved. Activating a broad range of community members in this way can bring in more diverse perspectives to your initiative and can build a base of supporters who feel invested in your work. There are different techniques you can use for limited engagement, but a couple tools that you can leverage in Hub are surveys and events. You can use a survey to collect feedback, and pairing it with Hub has a few advantages. Besides being able to share the survey in the context of other information on your site, community accounts provide greater administration control. You can target your survey to specific groups of community members by allowing only certain people to respond. Or, when users are signed in to their accounts, you'll be able to consistently keep track of who has submitted each response. This can be especially helpful if you are validating survey responses and need to follow up with certain respondents, and this simplifies the process for them to confirm or correct their submissions. I can illustrate this with an example. As part of our climate resilience initiative, we may want to get volunteers to collect and maintain information about the health of trees in their neighborhood. It's important that responses are updated periodically to be reliable, so you may want to send reminders to volunteers with out-of-date records. Accuracy is also important, so knowing who has submitted each response can help resolve conflicting reports from multiple volunteers. In this case, you will want all of your volunteers to have accounts that will be recorded along with their submissions. Let's see how you can encourage volunteers to create community accounts and provide them with a more customized experience on the site once they have signed in. On your site, you can use a sign-up card to encourage visitors to create an account. You should customize the title with a call to action, briefly explaining why visitors should create an account. You can provide a little bit more context in the subtitle. The default text here can be useful, but we're going to customize it a bit for this project. You can also include a sign-in button here for users who already have an account. There is already a sign-in button in your site's header, but it can be helpful to have it next to your call to action for returning visitors as well. Now to customize what folks see once they sign up or sign in. You can use this option to show a special message to signed in users, and you can link your survey to a button here. It can be helpful to close the loop so that when a volunteer completes their survey, they can easily find their way back to your site. You can do this by going to your survey, of course, saving first, and publishing. Going to your survey, going to the options, and adding a link to your site in the thank you screen. This is a great way to get a broad range of visitors to your site to join the volunteer effort. You can pair this with outreach techniques that we talked about earlier, social media posts about the effort, and messages to your followers. But it can also help to kick this data collection effort off with limited time events, like an orientation for interested volunteers. You can set up a hub event to facilitate both in-person and virtual events. Hub events allow members of your community to learn more about and register for upcoming engagements. As an organizer, you can easily message attendees to provide regular updates. Registration requires attendees to sign up for a community account, which centralizes account management within Hub and allows you to later promote activated attendees to more prominent roles in your initiative. You can also selectively share content with people who have registered for the event. Let me show you an example of this. To support the volunteer orientation effort, you can create a page with dedicated orientation resources. This can include materials that you may not want to share publicly on your site, specific forms or guide documents, volunteer routes or assignments, or personal contact information about the organizers. To share content with only event attendees, open the group sharing options. Filter within the initiative to events and select the event attendees with whom you'd like to share this page. Now users must be registered for the event to see the page. You can include a link to this page in a message to attendees. You can also include a link to the page in the header of your site. Since this page isn't shared publicly, it will only be visible in the header when event attendees are signed in. This allows for easy navigation. Sometimes one action inspires another, and members of the interested public will be motivated to be more involved in your work. Other times, it is clear from the beginning of the project which outside organizations will be vital to its success. I'll throw it back to Katie to take us through examples of deeper collaboration with your community.
Active collaborators are people who have vested interest in supporting the site as an internal or external stakeholder. Collaborators can review and edit each other's content and upload documents, data, and other materials. They can also assist in managing the site's outreach campaign and events. Collaborators can include representatives from local NGOs, nonprofits, advocacy groups, and higher education institutions. They can also include internal stakeholders from across your city's departments, such as those belonging to advisory committees. To become a collaborator, a person needs a community account, the same account set up by followers. Using the sign-up card that you saw Jay demo earlier, new collaborators can create an account and be prompted to take an action, such as filling out a tree data inventory form. Alternatively, if you already know the people whom you want to collaborate with, you can easily onboard them by setting up a community account for them using their email address. You can even import an Excel file of the names and email addresses of your collaborators to easily create community accounts in bulk. This can all be completed in the Community ArcGIS Online organization by a community administrator. To organize collaboration between your stakeholders, you can leverage your site's core team and supporting teams. A core team gives its members edit access, and a supporting team gives its members view access. In the following demo, I'll show you how to add new members to these teams and share content with them. In edit mode for a site, I can view a list of all of the teams assigned to the site by clicking the second drop-down menu in the edit navigation bar and choosing teams. By default, this list includes my site's core team, which was added out of the box when we first set up the site. Core teams grant edit access to its members. In this demo, however, I want to add a supporting team for members of the organization's Environmental Advisory Council so that I can share microdata with them to review. Since this team advises multiple projects across our organization, the team already exists and its members already have accounts to sign in and start viewing content. So to link that team to my site, I'm going to use the Edit Existing Supporting Team button located here on the side, select the team, and then link them to my site. To share content with them, I open the team, and first, I'm presented with the members view. And here I can look at everyone who belongs to the group, add new members, remove members, and send them messages. I can also unlink the team, delete the team, or view it in ArcGIS Online. While I'm here, I know that Alessandra, the group's chairperson, has new content, including PDF documents that she would like others to review in this group. So to help her do that, I can elevate her to a group's manager by clicking the checkbox next to her name and choosing Change Roles in the Edit navigation bar down below. Choose Manager, and now she can share content for the rest of the group's members to review. She cannot, however, edit the site or any of the content shared to other teams. She can only upload and edit her own content, but she can also add and remove new members and message them as well. Lastly, I'll show you how you can share that microdata I was mentioning with the Advisory Council. By clicking the second drop-down menu here and selecting Content, I can view the items that have been shared with the group already, including this item for the pear trees by land use dataset. I want to add my own, so I'm going to click this Add Existing Content button located on the side panel. And I'm looking for a data set specifically, so I'll filter the collection by data and search for city-maintained trees. Perfect. Once that's been added, the group's members can sign in to view it, and I can head back here to send them a message letting them know that it's ready for review.
Let's see what this looks like for a community member serving on the Environmental Community Advisory Committee. When I arrive at the site before logging in, I see what the public sees. But when I log in as a committee member, I can see a special row that is only rendered for advisory committee members. There's a link here to our team page. This new view of Hub Teams contains information about what we do, and it allows me to browse the team's members, as well as the content that's been shared with it. Here I can see the microdata that Katie just shared with the advisory committee. I can open it, select a layer, and I get a full screen viewing experience of both the data on a map or in a table. To get a sense of whether this is the data I'm looking for, I can use quick filters and styling. Let me start by zooming into my community in this demo and opening up the table to get a quick understanding of the data. Say I only want to see flowering ornamental pear trees. I can come over here to Filters and search for the specific species. Going back to my map, I can dig a little deeper. I can get a sense of the land use, where these trees are growing, using styling. And if I want to open this data up in Map Viewer, that's just a couple clicks away. Since I'm now pretty familiar with the data, I can recreate the map that I was looking up at in a couple quick steps. Now that it looks pretty good, I can save the map. Coming back to my team page, I can add the map that I just made to the team's content so other committee members can come and take a look at it. As Katie alluded to before, Hub also allows you to bring in trusted community members to help manage the work. By adding folks like nonprofit or academic partners to the site's core team, they're able to co-create, edit, and maintain the site and its associated content and community. This allows for an even deeper level of collaboration.
Thanks, Jay. That concludes the demo parts of our presentation. To recap, we've seen how ArcGIS Hub can be used as a platform for engagement and collaboration. Katie showed how to enable social media features and configure the follower button for our site. Jay also showed how surveys and events can be used for further engagement and community management. And finally, we saw how to work with the core and supporting teams to selectively share content. Now that you've seen what ArcGIS Hub can do, I know you're looking for more. The ArcGIS Hub Gallery is a great place to see real customer examples in government, transportation, utilities, emergency management, elections, and more. You can also explore how different sites have been customized and see how people are integrating other products like ArcGIS Urban, ArcGIS Story Maps, Experience Builder, and more. You can also browse the templates that are available for ArcGIS Hub Basic and Premium. There are many different website and app templates that we've made for you, and Premium users can make their own templates too. We also have a user lab that is always looking for participants to share feedback on how they use ArcGIS Hub, what they find intuitive or not, and what types of enhancements would help them work better. If you sign up at the URL, we'll be in touch when opportunities arise with user research. And if you're new to ArcGIS Hub or onboarding someone, there's instructional content to learn about site building, templates, and engagement at the Learn ArcGIS website, which is also actually built using ArcGIS Hub. You can stay up to date with new features, announcements, and tips by searching ArcGIS Hub on the ArcGIS blog. But the fastest and easiest way is to get them delivered right to your inbox by signing up for our newsletter or by following us on Twitter at ArcGIS Hub. That's all for now, and we look forward to you sharing your hubs with us and maybe even presenting them at the next user conference. Thank you.